Yes, people, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. Like the title says, we're off to Wembley, everybody. We're there. The promised land. We are halfway. We are 90 minutes away from a trophy and guaranteed European football. And to think that last year we were in the pits of relegation hell. And then Eddie Howe comes in, and it's just been history ever since. I have no words for quite what's transpired at Newcastle United. All I gotta say is just thank you. Thank you to everyone involved in the club, in the takeover, the manager, the players, the recruitment staff, the everyone behind the scenes doing the dirty work. You know, everything has led up to this. And Newcastle United are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. We're back and better than ever. First final since that FA Cup loss in 1999 against the scum. Not that scum. The other red scum. You know, those guys. So no, but we'll get into the fan reaction show soon. I'm gonna read off all your comments. 66 people in the building. Make sure to hit the like button, and I'll be doing the fan reaction show. Obviously, it's gonna be pinned right here in the top of the comments. But yeah, let's read off some comments first. I already got one person with me backstage, but like I said, let me just get in some comments from the people. Make sure to comment, give me your thoughts below about everything, and we'll be, answering some questions as well in regards to Bruno and the red card suspension. And luckily, it's some good news. But like I said, we'll get into that later. Tend to Idem, one of our members, make sure to become a member of the channel. Always, even it's just 99 pence. Really, really small donation, but it helps out the channel a lot. So, yeah, definitely consider joining. Didn't need to make a meal out of that second half. Completely agree. But I'm so happy we made it to Wembley. Bruno in the second half will rightfully sign off. Yep, but at least he's going to play in the final. Now, let's get into this right away. I see people asking in the comments below. So, Bruno Guimarães, remember the Leon Sal situation, right? Leon Sal got a second yellow card, and it was a red, obviously, and against us in the first leg. And so he missed Saturday's match. Who did they play? They played someone in the FA Cup. I think it was not Blackpool. I don't know. Whoever the hell they played, right? So he missed the domestic game. So Bruno's suspended. He's not suspended for the final. I was scared at first. My initial reaction was, oh, God damn it. But no, he'll miss West Ham at home, Bournemouth away, and Liverpool at home. So I would love if the center mid would come in. I would love it if we win against them. Love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fucking hate Man United. Get in there. Another member, Aaron Taylor. I'll join the live reaction if I can. Absolutely. Yeah, you're in there, bud. No worries. Need to get a center midfield now without Bruno for 3 games. Completely agree. We're off to Wembley. Bruno can play the final. Yes, we're going to Wembley. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Whatever will be, will be. Yes, Bruno can play in the final unless Premier League games get suspended. Yep. Hopefully not. Away the lads, my twin brother's a Man United fan. It's going to be crazy. Yes, sir. We've got Sean in the middle. We'll talk about Sean Longstaff because, my God, for the criticism that guy's had from me, from all of us, let's be real. He shut us up tonight, and we couldn't be more happy to be wrong. He's taking his chances. He's picked a hell of a game to do it. Fantastic result. My channel's rocked the tune. My live crashed. There you go. Pity we couldn't get any more players in. And we still got an hour or two. We'll see what happens. Eddie Howe's done a tremendous job in the space of the year. Definitely, we'll talk about that. Definitely. My only Wilson is Wilson looks a yard slower and isn't holding the ball up. Yeah, we can talk about that as well. For me, I want Isak starting the final. Do you think we have a chance against Manchester United in the final? Absolutely. 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 If you keep Marcus Rashford quiet, what other goal scorer do they have on that team? No one. So I'm not. They're very similar to us in a few ways, on the playing side of things. But we'll get into that. I do want to bring in my first guest to the show. Attended him. What's going on, man? What's your name?
10. You could just say 10. It's fine.
10. What's going on, man? How you doing?
It's good. Well, it's just past 6 in the morning where I live. But yeah, I'm very happy with making it to Wembley for first time since I was like 7 months old.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't even
it's
alive.
been a lifetime. So
I wasn't even alive. I've never seen this.
Yeah. So for both of us, I guess you're not from Newcastle. Could you imagine how it's like over at Newcastle? It's For now, I'll talk about the game.
Yeah. Give me your thoughts on the game, man.
First half dominant display. I am one of Sean Longstaff's biggest critics. I'm like, why is he always in these like shooting positions when he doesn't finish it? But today I don't really care if I get proven wrong. Shut me up, scores 2 goals.
Right.
And that's what we need. He definitely stepped up today. I think he definitely shut everyone that criticized him over the past few months.
Right.
And I think the majority of the team, Bruno Guimarães in the first half was good.
Yeah.
And then second half, I wasn't impressed because we keep on giving the ball away.
Right.
And especially Bruno with that red card rightfully sent off. But I guess he's going to be playing for us at Wembley. Hopefully, maybe it's a good what is it, like a month off for him. But hopefully, because of that, suspension, 3-match league suspension, maybe Bruno can learn to keep his temper, especially now that we're getting into probably the biggest game since I would say 1999. Whether we win or lose, Bruno has to step up in these sort of big games, like how Sean Longstaff did today. So, for now, I am celebrating. I'm happy with the making it to Wembley, but I do think there are some weaknesses in our team, especially when we saw that in the second half.
Yeah.
But for now, we had a 3-0 lead at one point on aggregate. But yeah, and whatever happens at Wembley, any team can win on the day. Man United can win. We can win. It could go to penalties.
It might be Forest. As unlikely as it is. I know.
But it'll probably be Manchester United, which is, quite a poetic thing for us that our last final was against Man United, and now we have to play them. Obviously, Man United will be favorites, just considering the history. But we always look at finals where the favorites, all you have to do is win on the day. Yeah. We saw that with Man United a couple seasons ago. They should have beaten Villarreal in the Europa League a couple of seasons ago. But, they lost on penalties. Now penalties can be a lottery. But, for Man United, I saw that they just got Sabitzer from Bayern Munich on loan. So that would be a very good signing for them.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about the next 3 league games in terms of how we can cope without Bruno, because the times that we didn't have Bruno, which was, I think, back when we played Wolves away, Liverpool away, I think, that wasn't really our best games. So hopefully we can, adjust for the next 3 games. And coincidentally, we do play Liverpool in one of the next 3 league games. Bruno's not in. But for now, I'm happy. It's a month of
Absolutely.
happiness. I don't know what other people think. I'm always a trophy over top four. If you get a trophy,
Yeah, me too. Me too.
if we get a trophy, I don't care if we finish 17th, because
Right.
For one, we don't have to be bantered as like Tottenham fans, basically.
Exactly. Get that immediately.
Yeah. And if let's say if we win the Carabao Cup, what will that do for our players now?
Exactly.
We got it over the line. We have a winning mentality.
Right.
It can show that we have what we can do for the rest of the season. Conversely, let's say if we lose the Carabao Cup final, how would that mentally affect our players in that afterwards? Because we play Man City just after the match at Wembley. So it's there's two sides of the coin. If we don't get a trophy, maybe we can hopefully achieve a top four finish. Because no matter what happens in that final, it's the best. Well, it's our best cup run since 1999 or 2000, basically. So, for every Newcastle fan, we're just happy that we're in the cup final. If we win it, that'll be the best. There'll be a week-long parade, I'm pretty sure, at Newcastle. Even though it's the League Cup, I don't really care,
Don't care either. Absolutely couldn't agree with you.
Because, for our expectations as fans,
beggars can't be
we would
choosers,
celebrate,
right?
We would celebrate a League Cup as if we won the Champions League. Whereas if you look at Manchester United, for them to win the League Cup, Man United, it's a good thing for them, but it's not what they are really.
Right.
You expect Man United to mostly challenge for Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues, not the Carabao Cup. But now you see the fans, yes, we're going to beat Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final, but
nothing's given. That's going to be a tough match. If it is Manchester United, it's 99% going to be them. Never know.
I mean, historically, we haven't been that good at Wembley, even at the new Wembley when Spurs were practically the home team. But, it's on the day. Cup finals are never decided based on how good you were in the league. It's based on how good you are.
It's on that day. It's on that day. Who shows up and who doesn't. Right.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Go on.
Oh, I was just saying for Manchester United's perspective, I know I'm kind of thinking ahead, because they will be our opponents in the final. Manchester United, from now until Wembley, basically, they're going to play every 3 days, 3 or 4 days. So for Manchester United, we saw what happened to Eriksen, and now they got Sabitzer.
Right.
The Manchester United squad is kind of thin, kind of like ours, but it's just that we don't have the big amount of matches where we play like every 3 or 4 days.
They have Europa League and FA Cup games to cope with.
Yeah. So I think, from a Manchester United point of view, hopefully they can manage things for themselves. And for us, we have to manage the next 3 games, you know, because now we are going to prepare for what will be our biggest cup game ever, biggest game since '99, basically.
Right. Yeah. No, it's been 10. It's been absolute pleasure having you on the show. I'm gonna move on to the next guest. Thank you, man.
Right.
Thank you, man.
And for every Newcastle fan, we are going to Wembley.
We are going to Wembley, man.
Let's go.
Away the land.
See you.
Anyways, take care, bro. Peace. I'm gonna get you in. Rock the tune next. I'm gonna just read off some comments because I got a complaint in here. Sorry about that, Steve McGarry. I'll get to some comments here. Richard Cardwell, FA Cup final wins in the 1950s. Yep, 55, 56. He'd be lying if we're in a cup final with a chance to win the trophy. Away the lads. Stevie, yep. Brandon from the Netherlands is coming to London. He got his tickets booked for that. Maybe you can find a ticket for the final. It's going to be a lot of money, man. But it's worth it, you know what I'm saying? I just wish my granddad was still alive, says Richard Cardwell. He was born in 1920, and his father, my great-grandfather, took him to see Newcastle play when they last won the league in 27-28, and also went to all of our FA Cup final wins in the 50s. Right, that carries on. Wow, crazy. Tell me my won't be home for tea. We're going to Wembley. Oh, man. Beautiful. Bruno comes back for the final. Write the script. Bruno, definitely a red card. The only bad point tonight. Definitely got a bit emotional away the lads. Let's give them payback for losing that 12-point lead in the Premier League. Damn fucking right. Absolutely. Now, we need to get into those cunts. I'm telling you right now. If it's them. Or if it's Forrest, whoever it is, bro. Whoever it is. Eddie Howe does a tremendous job in space a year. Could not agree with that anymore. Longstaff, tremendous player performance today under Eddie Howe. Absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. Poor strategy, taking off 3 subs. Also, Bruno hasn't been playing well. I agree with that, and we'll have to talk about that. Taking off Almiron stops the press. Couldn't agree more with that as well. So, okay, for everyone's, because I've seen a few times, and I'll probably have to say it a few more times. People are not good at listening nowadays. I'm not either, so it is what it is. But no, so here's the thing. Bruno Guimarães is suspended for the next 3 domestic league games. Domestic matches. So let's say in an alternate universe, we had an FA Cup game. We had an FA Cup game this weekend. He would be suspended for that game and then the next 2 Premier League games or whatever. If we had a Europa League game, he wouldn't be suspended for that, but he would be suspended for a league game, FA Cup game. If the Carabao Cup was in 3 games, he'd miss it. If the Carabao Cup was tomorrow, he would miss it. But because the Premier League games, these 3, like Paul Clark points out, so Bruno Guimarães will miss West Ham, Bournemouth away, and Liverpool. So there you go. Hopefully that answers your question. But I think Bruno needs a time off anyways because he's been poor lately. It happens. We're all, he's human. And he's got a lot of credit in the bank. But without further ado, I will bring on my second guest. I feel like I've done well reading off the comments. Rock the Tune. I think he might have froze up a little bit there. Back. Hey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How we doing?
I'm all right. Is your camera... I think your camera's frozen because I don't know if you see it, but it's gray on my end of things.
All right, so try something.
Here, you want to actually take yourself in and out real quick?
Is that better?
I still can't. It's still gray.
Oh,
Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments, people, if it's showing up as just a gray screen. Try entering in and out of the StreamYard. Happy with the win, but if we turn up to Wembley, yes, man, I play after we did Thursday. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, black screen. Yeah. Why not the final? Because they changed the rules in 2019-20. That's what I saw. That they changed it to just domestic. So perfect. There we go. What's going on?
It could have been that I was waiting for so long that the link just didn't come in right.
Yeah. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah.
We're finally in a final for the first time since '99. And I was so upset back then when we lost 2-0. We lost 2-0 in the final the season before as well to Arsenal. So it's so good. 24 years down the road and we're there. Because Eddie Howe has done a massive job with that team.
Aye.
On the players he's bought, none of them have been. Isaac, yes, we broke the record with Isaac, and
Botman was a really, really good signing as well. AC Milan wanted him.
But I think it's just the money he spent. We haven't spent massive. You know what I mean? You know, every player we bought, we paid good money for him. We haven't gone over the top. We've not let any team hold us to ransom. I think maybe we paid a little bit too much for Isaac, maybe. But I think at the time we thought, right, you know, get him in. You know, he got injured. So we haven't seen a massive amount of him yet. We haven't seen the best of him. So, you know, that's a good thing. Because others haven't seen him play. So I think hopefully in the next few games we'll get a bit more out of him with Bruno being out.
Yeah.
But Eddie Howe, he's been such a massive manager from what we've seen. I think what it looked at is a lot of people think he just left Bournemouth, took some time out, and then come to us. But he went away, went to all his football clubs, rugby clubs, other type of sports, and he put a plan of action in to make whatever job he got, that he put this plan of action into it. And when he showed the Newcastle board what he planned and what he wants to do, they didn't have to interview anyone else. They turned around and went, job's yours. You know?
Yeah.
And that's what they wanted.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. The manager is sensational.
Are we still going?
Oh, yeah. We're still in. Talk to me about Longstaff. Is this where he turns the corner and we see this guy become a consistent? Just talk to me about.
Yeah, I think Longstaff he's played well over the season. He's made a couple of mistakes, but his shooting's been a bit of a problem.
Yeah,
because every time the ball's come to him, he's putting it over the bar. He's putting it wide. But tonight, he shone. He scored those balls came on. He got his foot under the ball. I think we haven't seen the best of him yet. He just needs that time to develop a bit more. I thought we'd have had the best out of him already. You know, when he scored that super goal against Man United, we thought we were going to have a really good player there and then sort of thing. But it just didn't come. And a lot of people have sort of thought, oh, he's not really good enough for Newcastle. He's not good enough. But he's been a player that we've been able to bring on this season, and he's played well. You know, and it's just his finishing touches that have let him down. You know, and sometimes he hasn't passed the ball when he should have passed the ball rather than taking a shot.
Right.
Like Willock, he's a similar sort of player. When we first had him at the team, he was scoring loads. But since he's actually transferred to us, hasn't scored the goals that he scored. You know what I mean? So it's a strange one where players have not gone on. But he's playing well as a midfielder rather than as an attacker. Like Joe Linton, pushed Joe Linton back. Yeah. He's actually better as a midfielder than he is as a striker.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of Eddie Howe's masterpieces of his managerial career at Newcastle United so far. That innovation. So yeah, it's incredible, man. How do you feel going into the final? Or are you just going to wait to
I've
decide?
Lost you there, you've gone.
Huh? What was that? think you might have froze again.
You crashed.
What's that?
I lost you there. You crashed.
Oh, okay. My bad. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay.
Just
froze.
Yeah, so I'll ask you again. How do you feel going into the final?
Whoa. If we've got United, as I suspect,
yeah,
I think it's going to be a hard game.
Yeah.
Yes, we've only got 4 games to play. They've got 7.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of strength and depth, though. They've got a lot better players than we have. They've got a lot more players than you think in their squad.
Right.
So I think they might be better prepared. Not better prepared, but they might still have the strength that some of the other teams think they haven't, because they've bought a few players in this transfer window. They've not really let many go. But we've just got to go into this final with a fully fit side, and we've basically just got to use those players we've got.
Right.
And I think it's. I think we should start with Isak.
Me too.
Rather than starting with Wilson. I don't think Wilson is the player he was, and I think we're relying too much on him. He's not scoring.
Right.
So I think it should be Isak. I think we should be starting with Saint-Maximin, Isak up front, with Almiron, and then Miggy and Joe Linton, behind. And I think that's what we need to do. But our defence, we stick with our top 4 defence. Botman, Trippier, Byrne, and Shah.
Yeah.
Got to stick with them. And I think that's what we need to start. Our best team has got to start. We can't be bringing on certain players as subs later on.
Right.
It's we got to start with the best. If we don't start with the best team, then we're going to struggle. Man United are going to hit us,
right,
and they're going to damage us before we can even get anywhere.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely.
We drew with them 0-0 this season. It was a good draw, and a loss to Liverpool was the only bad thing that's happened this season, except for the goals that we lost. The points that we lost, because Liverpool we should never have lost to. Isak's goal wasn't offside, his second goal, and we lost points at Crystal Palace.
Right.
We should have had a penalty, not a disallowed goal.
Right. A few things have gone up. Yeah.
We'd actually be second in the league if we hadn't have had those bad decisions against us.
Right. Yeah, you can make a case. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
We would have took the pressure off now. We'd literally be there now. We would be saying, yeah, we'll definitely finish top 4.
Yeah. I said it.
So we got to put up with now. And hopefully we can get the points to finish in the top 4 this season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's been a pleasure having you on, man. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thanks again for coming on, liking the video and whatnot. I'm gonna move on to my next guest, but again, thank you very much for popping on. It's been
you're welcome, Steve.
Take care, man. Away the lads.
See you later. To everyone.
See you later, mate. Take care. I'm gonna bring on my next guest, one of the regulars. It's Andy Bell.
Oh my God, mate. Yes. Do you know what? First thing I want to say is, right, as an individual, I've never seen us, obviously, at Wembley since 1999 when we played Chelsea. Maybe 2000 when we played Chelsea in semi-final. I had Lee and his 2 kids here, and I've seen a 67-year-old lady with tears in her eyes because she's so happy to see it eventually happen, a potential of winning a trophy, and also seeing her grandkids and her kids seeing it. It's not to get over emotional, but honestly, mate, it's been a great day. Absolute great day.
I'm saving the tears for when we win or lose in the final. But I was close.
I fancy us to beat Man United for the first time in my life. I actually fancy us in the final.
I mean, it could be Forest, though. Again, it's 99% going to be Man United, but football is a funny
I hope it is, because you know what my household's like. My wife's a Man United fan, so all she's hoping for tomorrow is to get in the final, and then this household's going to go mad.
Yeah. So where do you want to start with, Dandy? Because we'll build it off of the comments a bit. We'll start with this. Give me your take on this. V for Vendetta, unpopular opinion here. Trippier did not play.
I think if you look again, 2 of the first chances we had in the first half were created by Trippier winning the ball, getting the ball forward quickly. I think he did make a few mistakes today. I think that's where he's come from. I'll be honest. He did make a few mistakes today. But we were getting overloaded by a good Southampton. Nathan Jones has done a good job.
Yeah.
I honestly think Southampton are a different side, and I fancy them actually now to stay up. If they keep Che Adams fit, I think they could stay up.
Yeah, because he'll get you a few goals. They need to work defensively, though. They need to work because.
No disrespect, they've played some good sides lately and not getting walloped when they've lost. They've competed in every game. They've won a few. They've drew a few. For me, the first 20 minutes, we could have had 3 or 4. We ripped them to pieces.
Right,
we showed what a good side we are. And I honestly don't think Wilson was on his best today.
For the 5th straight game.
In certain areas, I don't mean that he didn't do his things that he should do. He did that brilliantly. The things that we expect sometimes for him to pop up, I think that's where he was a little bit lacking today. But mate, this is a day that we can all remember. We're into a final. We've got optimism going into that final that we could actually win this, because although Man United have improved since we played them, they were going through a bit of a bad period when we played them, when we were on up. I still believe that back 5, 6 that we have fancy themselves against Rashford.
If we keep
Bruno Guimarães,
we don't have another recognized goal scorer.
I really do think we go in my eyes, we go in favourites.
Slight favourites?
Very slight, but that's just what I've seen this season. Man United are on a good run. They are playing well. They are. But I've not seen them dominate a team for a while.
I haven't seen them dominate, but you know what they do really well? They beat who they're supposed to beat. And they don't, like I said, I agree with you, they don't dominate. But they do control the game very well.
What they are is very, very dangerous. Yeah. You get the right ball. I've said this to you in private conversation in the past. When you've got someone that's so quick, if you've got someone that can play the ball at the right time, i.e. an Eriksen or a Bruno Fernandes on his day, you can split a very, very organised defence in a second. And if that player's composed enough, they will score. Because he's that quick that he gets himself time in the box to decide what he's going to do. A lot of other technical players have to take somebody on and then cut it in the far corner or something. Rashford's that quick that if he's behind you, you're not getting near him. So, Sancho's going to make a big difference at some point for Man United. I fully believe that at some point. But I just hope it's before the final.
Right. Yeah.
Because then they've got some depth off the bench.
Yeah, midfield, they don't have any depth, especially with Eriksen out till May. But Sabitzer is coming in, and he'll play in a deeper role we'll see how he adjusts. He could be terrible. He could be brilliant. He could be in the.
I quite like him. I think he's a decent player. I think he improves Man United.
Yeah, he does because they need depth.
Yeah, depth-wise, yeah. Squad player. He's not going to be first 11 for me. He might grow into it.
Different player compared to Eriksen. For me, he's more of a he'll get stuck in.
He's dangerous from distance. He's good at set pieces.
Good passing.
He's good technically. If you drop a ball on him from 20 feet in the air, he can hit it clean, edge of the box. Yeah, I do quite like him. But I don't, as much as I hate Bruno Fernandes, I don't know whether he's going to take his place. He's probably his replacement when they need to rest him.
Yeah, because he could play the 10 as well. Yeah, fair enough. What do you think of this comment? Next 3 league games from 10 from the Philippines. Next 3 league games are crucial in terms of managing the squad from Eddie Howe. And also a comment I'll tie in with that. Wilson has been poor recently. I need Howe to stop Isak in the next 3 Premier League games for him in the final. I agree with that 100%. What talk to me about that? How you feel about these people?
I think Philip's point there about Wilson being poor, I think it's because in the past we've seen sometimes very little of Wilson in games, and then he's popped up with a goal, or he's had a 5-minute period where he's really been in the game and he's getting a goal. So then you forget about some of the other things that if you had a different player in that area where you could change things, because he's getting goals. Right. And now that we've got Isaac, however you want to pronounce it, I just find that more of the boxes are ticked.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that he's a better finisher than Wilson yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that he's a better runner off the ball than Wilson yet. I just find that there's more bows to the arrow with Isaac that we could work with, considering his age. Have him as your starter, and then have Wilson in backup, because regardless, Wilson's still up there with some of the best 12 strikers in the league.
Yeah.
I don't think you could argue against top 15. There's no argument for that. He's getting in the England squad. He's went to a World Cup. When he's fit, he is lethal. Yeah. But at the moment, he just doesn't seem to be fitting in with what's going on. And I think that's because Isaac's come into the team and Howe's trying different things. Personally.
Now, it's funny you say try different things, because actually in my head I was thinking, what can we do to get Wilson back on that, form where he's a top 12, as you say, 10, whatever.
Yeah.
Strikers in the league. And I'm thinking, well, let's see. If Bruno's missing the next 3 games, why not try 4-4-2? Why not try Wilson, Isak? Bruno has to come out. Joe Linton, you could either put him left midfield or in
4-4-1-1. Even Isaac is
4-4-1-1. What do you think? Maybe some. And the thing is, the next 2 opponents we have are relegation battlers. Bournemouth is away. What do you think? Maybe something like that.
We've got 8 minutes left, so let's not hold out hope that we get a midfielder first of all.
Right. Yeah.
You never know. You get an hour if the paperwork's put forwards, apparently. But no, I get what you're saying, Steve. I'm being sarcastic there. Sorry. Yeah, I think
4-1-1. Would you try it?
Yeah, I personally would. But the one that I would have would be Miggy as the 10.
Miggy is the 10. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like if we're going to go 4-4-1-1 at any point. We're getting onto something here that probably is never even in Eddie Howe's thinking. Personally,
he's 4-4-2 though.
He has, but it's always been a one-off. Yeah,
I agree. Obviously that primarily he plays 4-3-3, but actually we have also
that would bring. Bear in mind that would bring Anderson's squad place higher.
Yeah.
Because if you get an injury to a number 10, I think that's his probably best position, or a little bit out towards the left, and now it's a narrow wing at 10. So you could say, well, if they try that, he might be looking at it and going, I'm losing John Joe Shelby. I did want to bring somebody in, but if I don't, I've got Anderson as a player that I trust. He's never had a bad performance.
Anthony Gordon too is now part of.
Of course, obviously we've got Gordon as well. I'm trying to think what he was thinking before he made his. He said the Shelby deal came out of the blue. Understandable. The player wanted to leave. He's getting a longer deal. He's got financial implications on it. Of course you're going to take a longer contract. You're going to earn more money. I don't blame the guy. And hats off to him. Thank you very much, Joe Shelby. You didn't jump ship. A lot of other players did, so thank you. But yeah, he needs reinforcements in midfield. But I think what he's thinking is if I don't get the reinforcements, what system can I play where I've got someone off the bench that can play centre?
Right.
Because we are scraping the barrel a little bit. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Paul Newsom here. Bruno out. Big Joe Linton into that position. Anthony Gordon into Joe Linton position. Or play him as a number 10. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's why I think he's saying Gordon, because he knows Joe Linton's going to fill in midfield. So he's lost Shelby. Joe Linton's his replacement. But he said before John Joe left that we were light in that department. So he's obviously still going to have that thought, well, if I'm light in midfield, what can I do to start the game to help us if there's an issue?
Exactly. Good thing is we have a week to prepare for the final. United have to play Barcelona on the 23rd,
Yeah.
26th on a Sunday. Thursday, Sundays are notorious, especially with the travel and whatnot. FA Cup game on the 1st and then Liverpool at Anfield. Yeah, their running is crazy. So
let's hope Barcelona run Man United.
yeah, exactly. And they could. They have the capable players. Andy, it's been a pleasure. I'll definitely talk to you backstage until I have to go to work in a few hours. But I'm gonna get Connor on real quick, and then we'll chat backstage. I'll send out the link also in case anyone else wants to go on. But yeah, I'll talk to you in a bit, Andy.
Yeah. All the best, everybody.
Away
enjoy it.
Lads. Get in. Connor, you all ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're all set. Awesome. Connor, what's going on, man?
Hey, Steve. Oh, what a night. What a night.
Night.
I mean, a year ago, bottom of the Premier League, things looking not so great. Here we are a year later, third in the Premier League and in a cup final. I mean, what can you ask for? And by the way, I think, and I know it's not a straight trade-off, but I think the fact we're in the final almost justifies Eddie Howe's decision to play that sort of B team against Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup. It would have been nice to win that game, but this kind of justifies it because he was putting the focus and the energy into making sure.
Sure.
Yes. And we've done that. And it's just, I honestly, we knew when the takeover happened that, days like this would come. But we all thought, be patient. It will take a couple of years. It will take time. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's taken a year. I mean, that's and that's not about we've just spent all this amount of money. We actually haven't done it that way. We've bought in the right players at the right time for reasonable prices. The exception of Anthony Gordon, who I do think we overpaid for, but he can still turn out to do a great job. Yeah. And I mean, we've done everything right. Eddie Howe, I think, deserves enormous credit because when he came in the door, a lot of people had him written off from the start because a lot of people thought, well, he wasn't the first choice. Is he really? Can he set up a defence? Can he do this? Nick Pope's conceded his first goal in 10 matches, and it was it was an uncharacteristic moment of slackness from us at the back. But it was also
a good strike from Shea Adams. I will give him credit for that, but we gave him the ball.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Which I bet Eddie Howe gave him an absolute and rightfully so a bollocking at halftime.
He did, but I think, the one thing I would say, because I agree with Andy, I think, I fancy there's every chance we can go on and beat Manchester United. Because the thing with Manchester United is you don't know what Man United are going to turn up. If they turn up at their best, I think we're in for a barnstorm. Because if we're at our best and they're at their best, that's a game I think it can go either way right now. But they are slightly off it by a yard or two, and we'll be all over them. And I think today, the second half wasn't as, brilliant as we had played in the first. but it was a different side to the game. You know, yeah, it was a bit nervy, it was a bit touchy. We gave the ball away a lot.
Especially Bruno complicating things a little bit with the red, which was a straight red.
It was, but I do
very,
think
very foolish.
He's unlucky as well because I don't think he intends to go in that way. Just the way he's gone in, clearly you can't. If you're going to, you're probably going to go off when that happens. But even at that point, we conceded one shot on target in the second half. That was obviously the Adam Armstrong one, which Nick Pope again. I mean,
great save again.
It seems like every week he comes up with something. Last week he done the same. Adams obviously gets in and he saves it 1-on-1. And I think that intimidates strikers when they know how good a goalkeeper they're facing. Even when they're 1-on-1, they know this guy can still save this. You know, and it almost puts them in two minds. They go round him, they chip him. So it was brilliant. And even after we get down to 10 men, I thought the mentality was still strong enough. You're facing a free kick for Ward-Prowse straight after that. And that was my biggest fear because I thought, well, this could be a double blow. I thought if we go down to 10 men here, James Ward-Prowse scores, now I'm concerned. But he didn't. Isaac took one for the team there, and hopefully he'll be fine. And it's just a wee bit of wobble he said tonight. And then I thought we defended well after that. After that point, I didn't think Southampton looked necessarily like they were going to go and get a goal or two goals that they needed. So I just think we saw both sides of the game tonight. And I mean, I just wish, as I'm sure you do, Steve, I was in Newcastle tonight. I really do. I wish I was. Because that party is going on until the very small hours of the morning.
Yeah. A lot of people going into work hungover and all that good stuff. I mean, I got work in 3 hours. It's crazy, man. Any thoughts about any individual performances? Anything else you wanna kind of?
I think Sean Longstaff merits a mention. I really do.
Yeah.
We've given him a lot of flack, and rightly so at times.
Right, yes.
Because he hasn't always taken his chances. Those areas he was in tonight, he's in those areas every week, and every week
he's good at it.
And doesn't quite get the finish. Tonight, I thought his first goal was a great finish to get it through the bodies, and in the second goal, it's a great run. He sees the play, and that's the difference. You know, somebody like Longstaff, okay, his finishing needs to improve, but he does see the play. He knows where the pass is going to go, so he's got himself right where he needs to be to run onto that and put it in the back of the net. He did have the opportunity, you know, just before the second goal he scored to get one, which I thought, again, because to be, I think we have to see some of the football, particularly that first half an hour that we were playing, it was, and I'm not over-egging it, it was City-esque. It really was. It was some brilliant stuff. You know, it was neat passing. The ball, I mean, when Longstaff picked that ball up, you know, Guimarães plays it into him and he takes the touch from his right foot onto the volley on the left. If that goes in, that's a goal of the season contender if that goes in, because that was some brilliant play. So I think he turned up tonight. I think Dan Burn done his job, because sometimes when you're emotional like they would be, being local lads, it can get to you. Even at the end, the Southampton players get in the box. He's got the pace on Burn, but Burn isn't rash. He doesn't slide tackle because he knows he's going to give a penalty away if he goes in.
Right.
So he's off, and he trusts that Fabian Schär or Sven Botman are going to be there
to
cover it. And obviously Schär was. So I just thought, absolutely brilliant. And I cannot wait to the 26th of February. What a day that is going to be. 2 cup finals that day, by the way, Steve, because obviously you've got the Scottish League Cup final and the English League Cup final. But I just, you want to save the tears for the final for whether we win or lose, like you said.
That's what I'm saying. That's what,
But it's hard because you just feel that much, because this was, no way did you think this was anywhere near going to happen. Even at the start of the season, even though you thought, we'll have a decent shot at it this season. Now I'm thinking, can we win a cup and get European football? That would be the season of dreams. Short of winning the Premier League, that is about as good a season as you can have. But yeah, I thought they stood up to it well. Bruno, it happens. The next 3 games, we've got the cover. For me, Saint-Maximin, I would be giving him a start.
Right.
You've got other options in there as well now, so it's not maybe a total disaster We just have to make sure we manage those games and ideally don't lose another player. Don't get anybody injured or anybody else suspended. Just focus on making it to that cup final because I think it'll be brilliant.
Right.
And who knows? Maybe in a world somewhere, Forest are going to pull off the greatest of comebacks. I doubt it.
Yeah, we've seen it before. Champions League, I could think of a few examples top of my head. Remontadas. But we'll see. Whoever we get in the final, though, I feel all right. Look, it's been great having you on, Connor. I'm sure I'll talk to you backstage and whatnot.
Que sera, Steve. Que sera. Whatever will be, will be. We're going to Wembley.
We're going to Wembley, man. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Anyways, take care, Connor. Like I said, I'll probably talk to you once it's all done. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. I got my next guest on, Paul. What's going on, man? How you doing? It's been a minute since you've been on.
Hey, me, all right?
I'm great. I could not feel any better. What about you?
Totally unbelievable tonight. Yeah. Like, we've got to think about the time. I know that Lee and the lads have said all we wanted was attractive football and playing well and getting decent results. We're in a final and we're in the top half in the Premier League.
That's all you could ask for, right? From where we were a year ago, we're in.
And then you're thinking about the academy status, how that's changing now, how the money's getting invested into that. There has been words about the stadium, but that's always going to be up in the air. But it's just the way, like tonight, I don't know if you've seen, after the match finished, John Joe Selvey, who's been sold, he's in the change room with the team still. If that doesn't show that the manager has got a togetherness within the group, then I don't know what.
For a guy that's out the door,
he still wants to be part of it. And then at the end of the match again, Eddie Howe will not take credit. He's always giving it to other people. So he was giving it to his assistant manager. He was giving it to the fans. He's saying it's for the club. And then Trippier came on and he was saying how unbelievable he was. The man is showing very likable signs of Sir Bob Robson, where it's all about the club. It's not about him, and he's already thinking of the next game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think Eddie Howe fits this club. It just fits so well, like you said, with the whole mentality side of things, with the selflessness, the high standards, the way he treats the players and has these expectations. It's like, what has the guy done wrong? The only thing I've been criticizing Eddie Howe for is playing these damn weak teams against in the FA Cup, but he's done well in the Carabao Cup, so it kind of negates.
I see what you're saying. Like tonight, I was thinking, did he make the subs at the wrong time? Did he make three of them all at the same time when they didn't need to be?
But
then I was thinking, Mickey is a type of person who he's always on the press. He's never stops. God love him. He must cover every inch of the grass. Wilson hasn't been the best since the World Cup. Let's be totally honest with you. And then obviously he brought Willock off, where he's trying to probably change things a little bit. But I don't know if he could have done one after the other. Did he need to do all three? I don't know.
Aye. Yeah, exactly. What were your thoughts on just anything else about the game that kind of stood out to you? It could be your emotion regarding going to a final. Could be the game tactically how it worked out. Just any other thoughts that you had, something that stuck out?
It was one of them where Bruno, he's one of them players anyway. He is amazing. I think he's one of the best players we've had in the midfield for a long time, but he has got that where, I wouldn't say clumsy, he just wants that desire to win. I don't think he meant it, but obviously he's not going to be missing, like I've said in the comments, he's not going to be missing in the cup final, which is great. But the next 3 games are going to be vital, but that's an opportunity where you can change things around. You could play the four at the back, the fantastic fours, I call them. You could play Bruno and Joe Linton in the midfield. You could try a 3 where you could put, I don't know, you could try Isaac or Wilson as the forward, but you could try Gordon as the number 10, and then you could try Miggy and obviously Maximum on the other side. So it does give you food for thought.
Yeah.
But it all depends. I'm looking at the minute at Sky Sports saying there's going to be any last minute deals, because if you're going to get rid of Shelby, you would like to think that you had a backup plan because we were a little bit lightweight in midfield.
Yeah. Yeah, I think and Andy was talking about that too with Shelby. You can't blame him for going, right? And he's been terrific. Ever since I've watched Newcastle, there was under Steve Bruce he was rotten, but who wasn't, right?
Yeah.
And then under Eddie Howe he was resurgent. So nothing but the best for John Joe. Any thoughts about him?
I feel very, very sorry for him because you could clearly tell he was trying to get himself fit as possible to play in the philosophy that Eddie Howe has, where he likes to be playing on the front foot. And I know Shelby's the type of player that can be brave and get on the ball and find a pass for anybody. But to be in that team, you have to be fit as a fiddle to play in that midfield. Yeah. You can't just get away with being a great passer of the ball. So people have slagged Longstaff off for a long time. But what the people don't say is he's always in the team because what he does for the team. He might not score loads of goals. Bruno doesn't score loads of goals. Joe Linton doesn't score loads of goals. Willock doesn't score loads of goals. But what Will Longstaff will do, it's that pressing, closing down, doing the dog shit, basically, picking everything up and cutting passes off. And today he's been rewarded. And somebody said Trippier didn't play very well, maybe as in his set pieces and whatnot.
Mistakes.
But is that not a case where people didn't take the set pieces, but he actually set a goal up?
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Howe's got credit in the bank now with bringing us to Wembley. Deserves a lot of plaudits with the quality of her squad. Imagine what it'd be like 2 or so years from now. Any thoughts on Eddie Howe that you want to say that hasn't already been echoed and screamed by every Newcastle fan, really?
I think Eddie Howe is a prime example of somebody who took a step back, came away from the game, done his research, went to watch Atletico Madrid, watched people how other parts of the game, came back, made a different philosophy, and it's working. And I think it's a great example of a young manager who wants to learn the game.
Yeah, exactly. Because at Bournemouth for all those years in the 5 years that he kept Bournemouth in the Premier League, the one criticism you had of him, criticizing a guy at Bournemouth, for keeping them up, it is a fair criticism, though. I will say that was defensively, right? Mm-hmm. They conceded a load of goals, but they did score a lot. You know, you think of those games against Liverpool and Chelsea where they won 4-3, 3-3, all this crazy stuff. So, but now defensively, we're the best defense in the Premier League by 5 goals over the league champions and the reigning league champions. Well, current league leaders. So it's crazy. We did concede today, but it's exceptional. You're right. 100%.
But they didn't concede in the Premier League, so that's a bonus.
Exactly. Yeah, Nick Pope still got those clean sheet record right now in the Premier League. But it's been surreal, man. Any other final thoughts before I bring on the next guest, mate?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing if there is any last minute transfers. I'm just keep checking on deadline day. But if not, it'd be interesting how will players get an opportunity to come forward. So like young Elliot, will he get a chance? So
it'll be interesting to see, man. But hey, in Eddie we trust. We're in an absolutely phenomenal position, more than anything I expected. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Paul.
No problem. Thank you again, man.
It's been a pleasure. Peace out, man. Next up, we're in the final. What's your name, sir?
Philip. The guy's been commentating in the comments.
Oh, Philip. Yeah, what's going on, man? What are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts. Today.
As much as excitement as someone can be getting up at like 3 a.m. to watch this. So if anyone can tell by the accent, I'm Australian, so you have to get up really early to watch these games. But it was worth it to get to the final. Just can't believe it. Just, I don't know how long you've been supporting the club, Steve. I've been supporting it since 2016. And
actually same. Yep.
Yeah, so like 7 years. It's like just pretty much what I've known is just us every season. First half of the season, you think you're going to get relegated.
Right.
The purple patch where we're good and we just survive. And then we obviously get the new owners. And
rinse and repeat.
Even when we got the new owners, it was like, I didn't expect us to be third and in a League Cup final. Because I remember last season, we got knocked out of Burnley in the second round. So, it's crazy. Like, obviously, it makes me very nervous. Obviously, now we're in a cup final. Just whenever you watch these cup finals, when it's other teams, it's easy because you're neutral.
Right.
And, you're not really worried. But, like, now it's us. It's like, oh, God. It's crazy. I'm worried about, like, obviously, we got Manchester United, I think, unless Forest pull off the greatest comeback ever, which I don't see them doing. But I think it's poetic because, last time we were in a domestic cup final, it was 99 and it was Manchester United. So I think what better way to get revenge and sort of set this new era for us than beating the team that kind of stopped us from having in technically our greatest era in recent years. Like the last 30 years. What's better way than beat the team that really stopped us from winning any trophies during that great time?
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Yeah, it's amazing. What were your thoughts on today? Were any standout performances from any individuals you thought pointed out?
Obviously, Longstaff. Obviously he's got in his criticisms, but it's great to see a local lad score, and you have a big role to play. I think he's getting better. Like since he's young, there's certain players where a lot of the older players were, there's some quality that we knew under Steve Bruce that these players were underperforming because he was just not a good manager.
Yeah.
And then now we're seeing what happens when you get a good manager in. A lot of these guys are performing, and it's going to be interesting to see next year if, God willing, we get Champions League football. It's going to be interesting to see who stays, who goes, how we perform in Europe. Because, look, watching it on TV, watching St. James's Park, I don't think teams are ready to come to that place. It's going to be crazy.
I don't know.
They're going to have a lot of whiplash.
Yeah, I mean, and we've also benefited. Fortunately enough, we've had all of our Carabao Cup games except away to Tranmere Rovers. That we've had all home games against pretty easy opposition, I guess. But hey, we lose the easy opposition in the FA Cup like it's nothing. So
yeah,
we've had
probably the only downside of this season, I would say, is just the FA Cup, because especially. You look at who Sheffield Wednesday got. What was Fleetwood Town? You're like, that's kind of a team you want to draw. And I don't know who they've got at the next round because I know they're doing a replay. But every time we get knocked out of a cup, it's like, and you see the team that beat us getting easy when you're like, what if that was us? What if we could?
I know, yeah.
But obviously we got more. The future's bright, so I'm pretty chill, especially if we win the cup. Obviously I said in the comments earlier, Manchester United. I don't know who they play. I think they played Leicester, then Barcelona, then us, then West Ham in the Cup, and then they got Liverpool. Whereas I think we've got 8 days after Liverpool, and then after that we have 5 days after. Then we play Man City. So obviously 2 big boys, but there's a nice breathing room for us to prepare. And obviously the next 3 games, I'm hoping that Eddie Howe, starts experimenting a bit more. Tries to start Gordon, see how he plays. Obviously start Isaac instead of Wilson. I really want to see what, maybe play them together. We haven't really seen enough of them together. If they can complement, because we've seen Isaac, how good he is in terms of creating for his teammates. It's not just him scoring every time he's played with us, it's also just creativity. So maybe that's what Wilson is missing someone next to him, helping him actually improve. But you never know. I think the defense should just stay the same. The 2 midfielders would be Bruno and Joe Linton, and obviously, I think on the left wing should be Alan, obviously, and Saint-Maximin, and then the right wing should be Miggy. It's really the striker and the third midfield that he's got the big decision to make. I was wondering, who do you think he should start in the final? In those 2 positions, at least.
Oh, was that a question for me? Sorry about Isak Wilson. For me personally, and I'll have you answer your question. I would start Isak because I think Wilson, as much as I love the guy, he hasn't been in form. And then for me, it would be a midfield. I want to see Joe Linton in midfield. And I want to see saint-Maximin play. But, if Eddie goes with Joe Linton on the wing, that's fine. But for me, I would right now, you have to play Longstaff in the final. Our back 4 has to stay the same. Goalkeeper the same. the three in midfield should be. I would do Guimarães, Joelinton, Longstaff, and then the front three: Miggy, Isak, saint-maximin. But it wouldn't surprise me if this team that we've seen so often, the back five, midfield three of Bruno, Longstaff, Willock, Miggy, Wilson, and Joelinton. Okay. If that's the team, I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't blame them either, because that's the team that won today. That's the team that has been so successful this season. We've seen that starting 11 probably 11 times. You know, there's some real consistency. Real consistency in that starting 11. I would switch it up. I would go Isak. But what about you? What would you do?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. It's like obviously the back four is then obviously Nick Pope and goal. That's a given. We don't need to debate that.
Yeah.
The midfield, as I said, Joelinton and Bruno obviously is nailed on. It's more the third choice, and I think right now you'd say it's probably Longstaff, but Willock, every time Willock's one of those players. It's like in the big games, he always shows up. Like against Man City, I thought he was brilliant. Against Arsenal, I thought he was good. So it's like, that. And then obviously up front, I think saint-maximin and Miggy obviously play. I think Isaac deserves a start. But that's I think what these next three games is what Eddie's going to have to decide. Is going to play Longstaff and maybe one of these games play Willock in another one. Obviously start Isaac and then decide, make the decision which one is showing the more promise, because I don't know. It's obviously the biggest decision, but I think we can beat Manchester United, you know. I think our defence is better than theirs. I think our goalkeeper is better than theirs. I think the midfield, without Eriksen, he's a good midfielder, so I think that's a big loss for them. So it's just up front, because obviously we've been struggling to score goals recently. That's the only thing I'm worried about, and I trust Isaac to be a better fit, in better form right now than Wilson. And multiple times when we've been watching last couple of games, Wilson feels anonymous, and that's not good. And we can't. I don't want to go into the final. We'll race 60 minutes with Wilson doing nothing. Bring on Isaac, and it's too late to change anything. That's what I'm a bit worried about.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I want to go into that final with the striker on fire. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it as well. Before I bring on my next guest, any final thoughts that you have on the game, on where we've been, on just anything? Anything you want to add on?
No, just so happy. Keep the good work up, guys. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for coming on. Great to see some new debuts on Newcastle Fans TV, the Fan Reaction Show. Take care, man.
You too.
Take care, man. Thanks for coming on. Next up, I'll actually have two, because I got to end this soon. I want to chill out. We got Lewis and Lee.
Come on.
Oh.
Cans.
I'm on the Coke Zero.
I'm on the nitrous oxide.
Hang on. Bruno doesn't miss the final. He misses the next three games, and the fourth game's the Carabao Cup final.
Aye. He'll return for the final, as long as none of the Premier League games get postponed, which shouldn't be the case. But anyways, I'll start up with you, Lee. Just talk to me. How you feeling?
Elated. I mean, what a game. What an atmosphere. It was like, it just sends shivers down your spine, the hairs on the back of your neck. Just absolutely tremendous, wasn't it? From the start to finish. I know we had patches where we didn't really control the game, and it was a bit touch and go for bits, but it was just unreal, and it nearly brought me to tears when we there he is, and it got me to tears when I was hugging that man. Best
hug I've had for a while, actually.
The final whistle went.
Yeah, fair enough. Lewis, any thoughts? Take it away.
Well, I had a bit of argument with me, but I couldn't see the Bruno's red card challenge when they showed on the big screen.
Aye.
But you could tell at the start, my God, the atmosphere was pumping. Like,
oh man, what an atmosphere! I'd love to have been there. I tried.
How was it on the TVs?
It was. I don't think we got the full version of it, but I've heard from friends that have been there tonight that the atmosphere was absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, and but then obviously we scored 2 goals. Brilliant, bloody marvelous Longstaff. Like, but then at the end,
talk to me about Longstaff.
Best player of the pit.
He could have had a hat trick in the first 20 minutes.
I know he could have. It's like I can't. This is true for me. This is the first time I can say Newcastle we're in the final.
I know,
mate.
I've seen it.
I'm 37 on Friday, and I'm telling you now, the only 3 teams I ever remember: 98, 99. Was it 2001 with Bobby in the semi-final against Chelsea when Rob Lee scored a header?
Yeah.
That was the last time that was the old Wembley as well. We haven't played at the new Wembley yet.
No.
So let's get rid of that curse of the Wembley curse, because the new stadium, we're going to go into that game knowing we can beat Man United.
100%, mate. 100%. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. They haven't been good in this season. They've had flaws.
We are more consistent than what they are.
I know they're on a bit of an upkick this in the recent past, but I think we've got our potential behind us, and we've got the passion. We're going to do it, man. We're going to do it.
And can you imagine what London is going to be black and white? I'm telling you.
London is going to be black and white, mate. 100%.
I'm going down.
I went to the bar.
Down.
I've just got to negotiate not getting divorced to go down. Once I do that, I'm there.
I went to the barbers the other day. The lad that was cutting your hair said he's going to probably get tickets. There was 2 lads waiting to get the haircut. When I was getting the haircut, he went, if they don't get a ticket, the 2 lads are still going down. I turned around to them. I said, "Can you stop cutting your hair?" And I went, "I'm going down as well." So
I'm just going to London. I'll sleep in there. Being me, I don't care.
But like,
I don't care. I want to see us in. I've never been to London before, bear in mind. So
yeah, you may as well for this occasion. Yeah.
I'm going all out.
Yeah,
you will see me in London.
Absolutely. Man United too involved with the other cup, so I focused on 1, 2, and 1 today. And Steve, will NFTV do a live watch off for the final? Absolutely. And it's probably going to be the worst watch along you've ever seen, because I don't be able to.
You're going to be absolutely
analyze anything. I mean, I'll just be chewing me nails and all that. But yeah, I'll do a watch along.
But Steve, just think about it. You got all afternoon to celebrate still, haven't you?
Aye.
No, can I just say?
Yeah.
How good Longstaff was after Bruno got
sent
off. I've always said about him, I said it a few times, the first thing I seen in Longstaff was his ability to hit the ball from outside the area and take a touch and hit it like Kane does. Take a touch, hit it. I'm sure he looks at him. And when he first burst onto the scene, that's what we seen in Sean Longstaff. And then after the next, 11 months, 12 months, we've had, every time we're criticising Sean Longstaff, it's been because we expect better shots when he's been putting them wide. And today, I don't think he can be criticised. He's taken a touch for the first one, hit it, scored. Second one, he's done the defender and he's just put it wide with his left foot, his weak foot. Great, he connects with it brilliantly. He probably connects with it too well. And then the second goal, he's done well. I mean, let's just give credit where it's due. And the things that he does off the ball, I mean, I've sat here before and I've criticised Sean Longstaff. And Sean, I'm sorry, because You giving us a night tonight. Thank you.
Yeah. If we didn't score them goals,
Yeah.
if we didn't, we'd be bloody still at the ground.
Hey, man, I think
And it had to be a Geordie. It had to be a Geordie.
That's like
That's the deal.
He done Longstaff done fantastic tonight, but if he didn't score them goals, I know for a fine fact there would have been someone else scoring them goals, because there's no way we would have finished that game any worse. We were fantastic, but I will put a slight damper on it. I thought Bruno's tackle was horrendous.
Yeah, it was bad.
But apparently he's not. He's still eligible for the next game.
Yeah, because it's the next 3 domestic games. So he misses Bournemouth, West Ham, and someone else.
He misses West Ham.
His first game back will be the final if he plays.
Yeah. He will play. He's
going to play, isn't he? Of course he is.
It
might be a good thing. It might be a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I think we'll miss him the next 3 games. We will miss him.
Yeah, but at least we've got Andy Goldison now, who can play midfield.
Yeah, he's not coming straight into the team for me. He's sitting on the bench like Bruno did.
Yeah. Who the hell will play in the middle now?
And like how Isak is still on the bench.
Yeah.
The only way for me, if he starts, is if you start ASM and him.
Yeah.
And you go for a game, proper go for like a Bournemouth, go for them. He will start both them. Otherwise, he's going to wait like Bruno.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He's going to get 20 minutes here, half an hour here, and then he'll start.
Yeah. I thought Joe Linton again tonight was just literally a brick wall. Did make his mistakes, you know. But
you can't even blame the defence for the goal, really, when you think of it, can you, Lee? I mean, the defence do everything. He's hit it as clean as a whistle, and it's a good goal.
Come out of nowhere, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
Paul Tierney did a crap job refereeing today.
That's what quality does. Quality does that to you.
Yeah,
Adams is hit that.
You know the challenge on one of our players when he did when I played a rugby tackle on the touchline at the dugout. How is that not a card?
Yeah.
It was off the ball.
I think we could have 2 penalties. Stonewallers, where he pulls Wilson down, and I forget.
I think the first penalty shouts a penalty. Really, I don't think the handball is a penalty because he's been swung around. He's fallen back. His hands up. I don't think that's a penalty for us. I said that to you. You were going VAR, and I went, nah. It's a natural position in the circumstance he was in. It's not a normal natural position because you normally wouldn't have your hand up like this, would you? But if you've been knocked off your feet and you're falling backwards and you're trying to stay on your feet, your hand goes up.
I have to go. I have to give me tea because I think I something to eat. But my man of the match was
Who was your man of the match?
We've seen penalties given for the same thing, but I didn't feel hard done by a Newcastle fan by that decision not being given because I seen what VAR were probably looking at by the fact that he was falling over, so he's trying to stay on his feet.
But for me, if everyone's backing down, they could have their arms by their sides. He's had his arm not there. And especially with Callum Wilson's possible penalty, he drags him down by his.
Yeah, that's a pen. That's a pen.
That's a penalty. I don't know how VAR didn't even look at that.
Who was VAR? Because obviously on the program tonight, forgot to even put the referees on.
Right.
As I said before, my man of the match is Longstaff. It's got to be.
Yeah. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah. If I can, I try and come into the next one when you do this.
Fan reaction show? Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
In 20 years' time, we're going to be talking about Longstaff getting 2 goals to get us to the final. That's why he's man of the match.
Yeah.
Because he's written himself in folklore.
He's written himself in the history books.
Yeah. He's one of our own.
That's
well done.
See you later, guys. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your rest of your evening, Steve.
You too, Lewis.
No problem.
Pleasure having you
Come
on.
on, we're at Wembley.
Away the lads.
What a great time to be a Geordie. I mean, Chris Dobie goes and wins the Masters darts the other day. Like, brilliantly as well. I mean, he didn't play his best, but he was brilliant. He nearly checked out on a 170 to win the tournament. Geordie wins a major darts tournament, and then we get a league cup final, like Newcastle, and win the top three.
My mum's just sitting next to me there, and she just said he scored the goals. How could you not give Sean Longstaff man? Not. How could
I told him he is.
Yeah.
You know.
I've just said he is.
No, I know you said that.
Right.
He's the same in general.
No, that's what I'm saying. You've got to give him man of the match because he
Got it.
was
Player of the match. Can we just be politically correct?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Any closing thoughts from you guys regarding this today?
Yeah. So.
Question for you, Lee. Question for Lee. Lee's a year older than me, so he might remember more than me.
You got a bit of on your phone, Andy.
Can you remember when we went to the likes of Arsenal and Man United on an FA Cup final day, and we were sitting there in hope?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we had. We had hope.
Yeah.
Of beating. Bear in mind, both teams were doubles winners and trebles winners. So we two the best sides that the Premier League's ever seen in two FA Cup finals.
Yeah.
Well, granted, we didn't score them, but I look at this one and I go, the playing field is so much more level. Yes, are Man United capable of beating us? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
If we don't get it right on the day, of course they are.
Rashford,
but I look at this game and I go, if Eddie Howe gets the tactics right and is able to have a little bit of strength off the bench, we can win this game. We can actually. Instead of playing FIFA as a Geordie fan, senior players lift a trophy up, we actually might have a memory to savour. So I'm very confident, confident.
As am I. I think we go down there. I think slight favourites, and I think we'll have most. I just don't think we'll have Newcastle behind us, the team behind us. I think we'll have most of the country behind us because no one likes Man United. Everyone hates them.
We'll have the country's support, by the way, because everybody hates Man United.
Yeah.
So.
No, well, I said to you, if you remember, Steve, you said to me, what's your dream for Newcastle? And I said, if I could pick someone in the final, I'd pick Man United, and you went. You went to me, why would you pick Man United over Southampton? I went, because I want revenge.
Revenge is the...
They stole my childhood. We were 12 points clear. We lost the title. We met them in the FA Cup. We got beat.
Yeah.
My missus is a Man United fan. If I can get one over my missus, I'm going to take it, all right?
It'll cost you in other areas of life with your missus, but the football inside of things, that's...
If the dream could come to, Man United are the side that I would like to beat in the final. Of any side.
Yeah.
Because it's still, I'm telling you, there's people I went to school with, David Herron, they would agree he's a Man United fan, but I'm telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, lads. We're gonna close off an amazing day. Generally good performance. The first 30 was incredible. We're off to Wembley, people. Make sure to smash the likes on your way out.
Tell me, mommy, mom, I won't be home for tea. That's just me. All right.
Because I'm off. So, well,
take care, everybody.
Take care, everybody. Smash the likes.
Hit the like, please.
Absolutely. And thank you to these two wonderful gentlemen and all the others who came on the Fan Reaction Show. Take care. Away the fucking lads. Let's do this.